Welcome back to the Will Cain Show. It's that time of year again, Shark Week. And if you needed a reminder, check out this great white shark launching out of the water right behind a boogie boarder. Talk about motivation to swim faster. But here's the good news. California State University Shark Lab just released a first-of-its-kind study on what human sounds actually get a shark's attention. When it comes to freestyle swimming, sharks are more likely to approach from a distance. Paddling on a surfboard, they mostly ignore, thank goodness. In kayaking, they barely react. But before you cancel that beach trip, your chances of a shark bite are about 1 in 3.7 million. You're more likely to get struck by lightning, crash your bike, or get nipped by the family dog. Now, I've tested this theory about sharks, swimming with them off the coast of Florida a few years ago, and I lived to tell the tale. But my next guest, he chases alien sharks, proving the ocean's strangest creatures are closer than you think. Joining me now, wildlife biologist and rare species expert Forrest Galante. Forrest, I'm such a fan. I'm so excited to have you on. You saw my little clip. I was off Jupiter, Florida with the Shark Addict guys, and those are mostly bull sharks or reef sharks. But you've gone in search of alien sharks, bonnet heads, and some very rare sharks. What have you learned in your years of experience being around these magnificent creatures?
I mean, Griff, I think that, first of all, sharks and elasmobranchs in general are one of the greatest taxonomic groups, right? We have nearly 500 different species of sharks, and I think your average person thinks that there's 4 or 5, right? Bull sharks, hammerheads, tiger sharks, and great whites. And what's so cool about doing this alien sharks franchise that I've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years is that we get to Rolodex some of these incredible lesser-known animals like bonnet heads and glow-in-the-dark swell sharks and gigantic basking sharks, and so many more. And it's fun to help educate people and show them how incredible some of these other species really are.
I thought that we put up the whole thing about the sounds. The sharks really are sensitive to it, and obviously people are worried to go in the water. And by the way, people that say, oh my gosh, it's Shark Week, we can't go in the water, the sharks don't know it's Shark Week. They don't have televisions. Any day is going in the water. But there are some things with regards to the sounds you make that can make you smarter going in the water, and also a few other tips about not going alone and not going near bait fish. Walk us through some of that.
Yeah, I mean, so the sound thing is interesting because really it's about a vibration frequency. Sharks aren't interested in humans making noise. What they're interested in is a vibration frequency that they can detect through specialized organs called ampullae of Lorenzini that match their prey base. So when you're splashing on the surface, that's a similar sound to a bait fish splashing on the surface that they would like to eat. So as you mentioned, there are many things that you can do to help mitigate this. You know, not swimming at dawn or dusk, not going in the water where people are fishing. As you've heard the old saying, sharks can detect a drop of blood in a swimming pool. All these things are actually true. So if you educate yourself a little bit, as you showed with those statistics, the likelihood of a negative shark encounter is very, very, very limited. And there are a few random weird things that you might do that could draw in a shark that some people would never even think of.
Like what?
Like, believe it or not, if you go in the water with a water bottle, like a plastic water bottle or a beer can, and crunch that, that sounds almost exactly like the crunching of fish bones. So much so that in Jupiter, Florida, where you did that dive, they use that technique to draw in the sharks. If you go swimming in a low visibility environment, if you happen to be in a sequence bathing suit or have really shiny jewelry, that flash of light in the low visibility environment oftentimes can evoke at least an inquisitive bite, which isn't really an attack, but sharks don't have hands. So, you know, there are little things that people do that they don't realize that can up your likelihood of a negative encounter, but it's very slim.
They don't have hands, and the shark experts I've talked to with my Shark Addict guys, they say that, remember, the sharks shake hands with their mouth, so you have to be careful. Lastly, a few seconds I got left. If any of our viewers are out there and they encounter a shark, what do?
Just stay calm, because when you act like prey, they treat you like prey, right? If you encounter a shark, stay calm, maintain eye contact, slowly back out of the water, and just don't panic. The second you panic is when a predator sees you as food, you know, and it's really that simple.
Forrest Galante, great insight. Love your work. You can catch you in all of the shark specials you do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.